I never imagined I'd become the kind of man who'd end up in a situation like this. But life has a brutal way of knocking you down when you least expect it. My name is Mike, and I was with my fiancée, Emily, for 3 years before everything shattered in a way I never saw coming. We were supposed to get married in just 2 weeks. Everything felt normal, at least I believed it was. Emily was stunning, confident, and at times a little difficult, but in a way that I appreciated. Her fire made her feel strong, and I admired that. I truly thought we had something special. We made plans, dreamed of a future together. At least, I thought we did. But the cracks started small. She became oddly secretive with her phone. I'd walk into the room and see her flip it over quickly, or she'd hide it in her lap mid-conversation. At first, I told myself not to overthink it. Maybe she just valued her privacy. Girls do that, right? Then she began canceling plans, last-minute excuses about work emergencies, or last-minute outings with her friends. Nothing glaring, just odd. Suspicious, but subtle enough to make me question my own gut. Whenever I asked questions, she'd snap. "You're paranoid, Mike," she'd say, brushing me off as if I were being irrational. Still, I trusted her. I wanted to trust her. One evening, I came home early from work. I wasn't feeling well, and thought I'd surprise her. As I opened the apartment door, I heard noises coming from our bedroom. At first, I assumed she was just talking to a friend or maybe her sister. Then I heard a laugh. Emily's laugh, but different. Sultry. Intimate. My stomach twisted in knots. I froze, unable to move, my heart hammering in my chest. Slowly, I stepped closer and peeked through the crack in the door. There she was, Emily, in bed with another man. They were tangled together, half-dressed, laughing as if the world outside didn't exist. A stranger's hand rested on her thigh, like she was his, not mine. I didn't recognize him, but that didn't matter. The betrayal was immediate. It hit me like a freight train. I stood there, numb, unable to breathe. How long had this been going on? Had I really been so blind? Rage. Disbelief. Heartbreak. It all washed over me at once. I wanted to scream, to barge in and confront her. But I couldn't move. I was paralyzed by the truth staring me in the face. And then, like a final knife to the chest, I realized who the man was. It was Kyle, my best friend. The shock nearly dropped me to my knees. I backed away, slowly, silently, as if afraid that making a sound would shatter what little sanity I had left. I left the apartment without a word, my mind spiraling. I drove for hours that night, trying to piece together the truth, trying to convince myself it wasn't real. But no matter how hard I tried, the image of them, in our bed, was burned into my memory. The next morning, I woke with a splitting headache and a heart full of dread. I couldn't ignore it anymore. I had to confront her. I called Emily at work. She answered, irritated, like I was disturbing her. I told her we needed to talk, urgently. When she came home that evening, she walked in looking annoyed, brushing her hair behind her ears, faking a smile that used to mean something. Not anymore. When I brought up what I saw, she looked at me with that same smug arrogance. "Oh, come on, Mike. You're being dramatic. I don't even know that guy like that. You're crazy." I stared at her, stunned. How could she lie so easily? How could she twist my reality and make me question my own eyes? She gaslit me. She called me insecure, jealous, paranoid. Even accused me of spying on her. For a moment, I actually wondered if I was losing my mind. But I wasn't. I knew what I saw. I knew the truth. That night was the loneliest I've ever felt. I lay awake next to a woman I no longer recognized. The woman I was supposed to marry had become a stranger. And I hated myself for missing all the signs, for loving her blindly. But I wasn't going to sit in silence. The next day, I searched for the truth, the hard evidence. I went through her phone, hands trembling as I unlocked it. I wasn't proud of it, but I needed answers. And I found them. Text after text between Emily and Kyle. Flirty, suggestive, downright filthy. They had been meeting up for months. Not once. Not twice. Dozens of times. Messages about how she couldn't wait to see him again, about how she wished I wasn't around so they could be together freely. I felt sick. And that wasn't all. I found a pregnancy test hidden in her drawer. Positive. I was ready to explode. That night I waited. I gathered the messages, screenshots, and call logs. When she got home, I calmly sat her down and placed everything on the table. The color drained from her face. Mike, this isn't what it looks like. Kyle and I were just joking around. It's not serious. A joke? Is this what betrayal looks like to you? I stared at her, jaw clenched. Then I dropped the bomb. I know about the pregnancy test, too. Her face contorted in panic. She broke down, sobbing, rambling excuses, stress, mistakes, confusion. She begged for forgiveness, saying it meant nothing, that Kyle was a mistake, that she still loved me. But her tears couldn't undo what she did. I told her to come clean, or I was walking out of her life forever. She hesitated, still trying to spin lies. That's when I knew. There was no saving this. I told her I needed space. But inside, I was already planning something else. Not out of pettiness, but justice. She needed to feel what I felt, to understand the depth of what she'd destroyed. Over the next few days, I played the role. I acted calm while my mind planned everything. I set up hidden cameras, copied files, even hired a private investigator. I wanted all the truth, every shred. Eventually, Kyle cracked. He admitted everything. They'd been sleeping together for months behind my back, laughing at me, lying to me. It was time. I invited her over under the pretense of a peaceful talk. She arrived confident, thinking she still had control. She didn't. I smiled, listened, let her speak. Then I laid it all out, the photos, the videos, the messages. Her smirk vanished. And then I told her, "We're done. I'm filing for divorce." I saw the panic in her eyes, the realization that she had lost control. She cried, begged, pleaded. But I was done listening. I wasn't her puppet anymore. That night, for the first time in weeks, I felt peace. I moved out shortly after. She kept calling, trying to pull me back in, but I was done. The divorce went through faster than I expected. When it was finalized, I felt a strange mix of emptiness and freedom. Looking back now, I realize I learned more than I lost. I learned how fragile trust really is. I learned that love, without honesty, is just a lie in disguise. I learned that someone can smile at you while stabbing you in the back. But I also learned that I'm stronger than I ever thought. So if you're reading this, remember, when something feels off, it probably is. Don't ignore the signs. Don't let love blind you to truth. You deserve honesty. You deserve respect. You deserve better than lies. As for me, I'm healing, one day at a time. And no matter how deep the betrayal, I won't let it define who I am.